Hello everyone, and welcome to another very beautiful chess game of Paul Morphy. And once again, Paul Morphy's opponent is Paulsen. But this time, both players are playing blindfolded, so this game is a double blindfolded game. And Paul Morphy, who has the white pieces, starts the game with playing e4, e5, knight to f3, d5, e takes on d5, e4, attacking the knight, queen to e2 pinning the pawn, f5, d3, bishop to b4 check c3, bishop to e7, d takes on e4, f takes on e4, queen takes on e4, knight to f6 attacking the queen, bishop to b5 check, bishop to d7. So Paulsen is blocking with the bishop to d7, and if c6, it looks like black is attacking the queen and also attacking the bishop at the same time. But incredibly, when Paul Morphy is playing blindfolded, he is still not blundering and he is playing very accurately. So after c6, white is not losing because we have d takes on c6, and if knight takes queen, then c takes on b7, that's check, bishop to d7, and then b takes on a8, and promoting a queen, capturing the rook with promoting a queen. So Paul Morphy solved that line, and that's why he played bishop to b5, that's check. And probably also Paulsen solved the possible continuation and he played bishop to d7, queen to e2, knight takes on d5. Paulsen is getting back one of the pawns, bishop to c4, c6, bishop to g5, bishop to g4, pinning the knight, knight from b to d2, knight to d7, and Paul Morphy castled. Knight 7 to b6, rook from f to e1, bishop takes on f3, knight takes on f3, knight takes on c4, queen takes on c4, queen to c7, bishop takes, knight takes on e7, and this is the key moment of the game. And what would you do in this position if you had the white pieces? So can you guess the next move of Paul Morphy? Paul Morphy played rook takes on e7, sacrificing the exchange, queen takes on e7, and the follow-up move is rook to e1. That's why Paul Morphy sacrificed the exchange. And now Paul Morphy is attacking the queen, queen is pinned, so Paulsen captures the rook, knight takes queen, and Paulsen castled in the queen side. Queen to g4, check, blocking with the rook, knight to d3, h5, attacking the queen, queen to e6, rook to h6, attacking the queen again, queen to e4, defending the knight, saving the queen, rook from h to d6, double attacking the knight, and Paul Morphy didn't want any back rank mate, so he played knight to e1, rook to d1, g3, king to d8, queen to e5, but rook to e7 by Paulsen, attacking the queen and also attacking the knight. So Paul Morphy played queen to b8, check, king to d7, queen takes on b7, king to d6, queen to b8, king to d7, queen takes on a7, king to d6, queen to b8, check, king to d7, king to g2. Finally, Paul Morphy is giving up the knight. Paulsen captures the knight, rook d takes on e1, a4, and this a pawn is deadly for black. We have rook to a1, hoping to defend, queen to b7, king to d6, so we basically have two rooks against the queen endgame. And don't forget that both players are playing blindfolded, but still Paul Morphy and also Paulsen, both players are playing very accurately. So we have queen to b4 check, king to d7, a5, g6, a6, and if rook takes pawn, then queen to b7 check, also attacking the rook, g5, queen to b7 check, king to d6, queen to b8, king to e6, b4, g4, c4, king to f7, queen to b7 by Paul Morphy. What a move! But we have king to f8 by Paulsen. If rook takes queen, then a takes on b7, and it's impossible for black to stop this b-pawn. B-pawn is going to become a queen. Rook to a7, b-pawn promoted to a queen. Rook to a8, then b takes on a8, promoting a queen. This is even worse. So we have king to f8 by Paulsen. h3, not moving the queen. Rook from e to e1. H takes on g4. H takes on g4, queen to c8. King to e7, queen takes on g4. Rook to g1, king to f3. Rook takes on a6. And Paul Morphy played queen to g7, king to e6. Queen to c7. Rook from g to a1, doubling the rooks. King to g4. Activating the king. Rook 1 to a4. King to g5. Rook to a2. A desperate move by Paulsen. Paul Morphy played the last move of the game, and after that move, Paulsen resigned. Well, Paul Morphy simply played f4. An elegant move and threatening checkmate, f5. So let's play a random move, rook to a7, attacking the queen, and then f5. Checkmate. So there is no defense after f4. If, let's say, rook to f2, then king to g6, c5, b takes on c5, rook from a to a2, queen to d6, checkmate. So rook takes on f4, g takes on f4, rook to a8, another random move, then f5 again, that's checkmate. So there is no defense for black, and what a game by Paul Morphy. So after f4, Paulsen resigned. And now, I'd like to show you a very interesting article about some of the games between Paul Morphy and Louis Paulsen when they were playing blindfolded with each other, so that my English is not perfect and also my memory is not like a computer. I'm going to read that article for you because I found that article very important historically and also very interesting. So I find this article in chessgames.com, and in this article one user said interesting anecdote in the New York Times in 1891 about Paul Morphy and Louis Paulsen. So this article was taken in 1891 in the New York Times, and let me read this article. It's within memory of many New Yorkers that at the time of the Congress of 1857, but not as part of it, Paulsen and Morphy played together a blindfold game, sitting at opposite ends of the room, facing the wall, and calling out their moves, which were thereupon executed upon the chessboard by the auditors. At last Morphy announced a move and added mate in 6, and after a very few seconds Paulsen declared, "I see it," while it took more minutes than Paulsen had taken seconds for the recorders at the table to work out upon the board how the checkmate was to be accomplished. So this was the article that has been taken on New York Times in 1891. And this was a very interesting story between these two players. And both players were playing blindfolded. An interesting story, isn't it? So after this interesting historical information, I think this is the end for today. So I hope you have enjoyed watching this video, and I hope to see you next time. Take care, and bye bye for now.